Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Seetal and you're watching Seetal MD. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this really easy. I want to call it a kids play station or playhouse cafe. I guess it's like a makeshift. It could be a kitchen, but it's really a place where the kids can pretend play shop or cafe. So the first thing I do is I had this IKEA PS cabinet and I wasn't really using it as much as I should have. So I thought maybe this would be a good place to start, right? So you need to get like a cabinet, like a one with drawers, or just like a place where the kids can, put their toys and stuff inside. So I removed the doors of the cabinet and then I needed to make like poles on the side, right? So I measured the poles at two different heights, one lower, one higher, and these poles are going to be attached on all the four corners of the cabinet so that I can then later make like a canopy on top of it. So I spray painted the poles white. I just used a simple I guess 1x2 you would call it, an inch by 2 inch wide wood, and then I drilled the sides of the IKEA PS cabinet. This was a little hard considering it's metal, but if you use the right tools it wouldn't really take as long. Like it didn't take that long. Like I'm not really playing this in fast motion, so I guess I could say it's not really that difficult. And then I used nuts and bolts to hold the wood or the pole to the cabinet. And you have to be really careful with the markings here. You gotta make sure that where you mark the holes first, drill the holes first on the cabinet, and then mark the corresponding holes on the wood where it should be, because you want to make sure you get this exactly right. Otherwise, your poles won't exactly line up with the floor, unless that's what you're going for. But my poles lined up exactly with the floor so that it would have a good balance and it would be nice and sturdy. And then once I got the holes drilled on the wood and the metal, I went ahead and attached the nut with just some pliers. Excuse the cleaning here, but because I kind of drilled my holes in the wood in my living room, or the playroom, so I kind of had to vacuum everything. I'm a bit pedantic when it comes to that, but this is what the so far the contraption looks like. So I've got the poles up on the side of the cabinet. Everything looks nice and wide. I didn't do much else to it. And then I went ahead and did my measurements. So you first need to measure like how far down you want the canopy to be, and make sure you get this right on both ends, so you mark it. And then you need to measure as well the length, the width, and because you need to cut the side up. So the side would be sort of like a trapezium shaped material. And then now I'm measuring the cloth that goes like all around on top of the canopy, right? So it's going to be like lengthwise. So I got this I got a paper first. I've got a dotted paper that I use for my sewing, and I measured out how I measured out on the wood outside. I didn't leave any seam allowances here because I just wanted to mesh out this piece of paper and then take it to the side of the cabinet and place it against the side of the cabinet to see whether I got my measurements right and it fits. And then if it fits, I will go ahead and cut it on my fabric. And as you see here, it fits. I'm pretty happy with it. So then I went ahead and cut the thing on my IKEA fabric here. I bought this fabric from IKEA. I got 2 meters, although I think 1.5 meters would have been enough for this project. And as you see here, I'm leaving about 1/2 inch seam allowance to this pattern because I will need that when I'm sewing. To cut out the top piece, I folded the fabric in half, but make sure your stripes are going the way that you want it to go before you just, you know, go ahead and cut your fabric. So this is the way I wanted my fabric to go. So I folded the material in half and then essentially cut it where widthwise, basically the whole width that would cover the entire side of the poles and the top. And then I also, on the one end where, you know, the fabric would kind of fold in front of the canopy, I wanted to make like scallops. So I left out about 1/2 inch of seam allowance on the fold because that would be the seam allowance. And then I went ahead and free-handed scallops. And I use a, this is called like, I guess like a zigzag scissors. I forgot what it has a specific name. Well, basically this scissors has got like tiny triangles on the end whereby you do not need to serge the end of your fabric and the fabric won't fray. And then for the other 3 corners of the fabric, I went ahead and ran it in under my overlocker so that it doesn't fray. And I didn't really like, you know, do any nice folds or anything like that inside because all I wanted was like a fast sewing project, right? And then I took my 2 triangles that I had as well, well, trapeziums, if you may, and I serged the, you know, the bottom corner as well because that corner will be out and exposed. And then as you see here, this is how I'm attaching my triangle to the fabric, and then I'm going to sew the corner starting with the pin and then going ahead with the rest. While to do this, it's really easy. What you need to do is while you're when you want to pivot the fabric, leave the needle in the fabric, pivot your fabric, and then keep sewing. And then when it's time to pivot again, leave the needle in the fabric as again, and lift your presser foot, pivot the fabric, and start sewing again. So it's pretty simple and pretty self-explanatory, but what you need to do is once you finish that, you need to snip the corners, because if you don't snip the corners will be very pinched up or bunched up from the outside. So snip the corners to ease the area, and then do a fitting and try and see if it fits. So after I did my fitting, it does fit, but it's not like snug. And so instead of like going back to the sewing machine and coming back here again and again to make sure I get it nice and snug, I thought the easiest way to do it would be to pull the fabric taut a little bit on the poles and then use my stapler gun and staple the sides in just a little bit more, just to get it nice and snug. And that's exactly what I did on all 4 sides. Simple, so easy. And as you can see from this close-up, you know, you can see the staples, it's there, but you know, it really doesn't bother me and it doesn't bother the kids. So it doesn't have to be like a perfect project, but the poles are sturdy enough, the frames are strong, and they will hold up well, and the kids absolutely love it. I didn't do any decoration to it or write anything on it because the kids went ahead and, you know, did it on their own later with some marker pen and really just left it out to their imagination. And it kind of matches this DIY indoor cubby house bench that I made. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, do leave me a comment, and your support for this channel is so rewarding to me, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon in my next video. Bye and have a great day.